Hello everyone, look what I finally got, my own copy. Yep, my personal copy. Everybody else has been buying it, so I finally got one. No more line across that says not for resale. So, and people have been writing saying it's good and they like it, so if you've read it, please leave a comment. Well, I mean, not a comment, a review on Amazon.com or Goodreads or both. And whether you're nice or not, it's cool. You know, if you like it, you like it. If you didn't, you didn't. Tell me what you liked about it and what you didn't. And yeah, it's called Tales to Chill Your Blood. And why it's not written across the cover is because we wanted to preserve the cover art because it's so pretty and it just looks awesome. And no matter where the title tried to go, it interfered with the cover, and we didn't want to do that, so it's real big right there, Tales to Chill Your Blood, and there's my name, and on the back's my lovely mugshot with me and my baby Nemo, and then you get to know about me, and then here's a little bit about what the book's about, and then for those of you who are like me and can't see, wow, look at that. Nice sized font, and it's still not a very thick book. You know, I try to keep it around. Most of my books come out and they're about 213 to 215 pages. I don't know how that happens, but with the one I'm working on now, we'll talk about that in the next video. It's gonna be around 275, maybe 300. It may end up being shorter, I don't know, but we'll talk about that. But the reason is, if you go over 300 pages, the price goes up. Wow, because the thicker the book, the heavier the book, and the more it costs to ship a book and print a book for whatever reason. So try to keep it to where I can sell them for $12. That's right, this one is $12. It's 213 pages, I think. See, there you go, the figure in the darkness, and it tells you what year it was written, and then when the story ends it'll say the end. For whatever reason, that was the only thing that appears on this page, but it's pretty cool. I love the layout. There's the first thing, tells you the book and the acknowledgments, and when it first came out in 2008 was the first printing, then 2012, and then 2025. And yes, even if you have the other versions of this book, you don't have this book. We'll talk about that here in a second. And then it tells you, here's the disclaimer: even though this book may be titled Tales to Chill Your Blood, not every story is meant to be scary. Think of it as a collection of eclectic stories, bizarre, shocking, strange, and at times horrific, but not always in the same story. And not every story. It's reminiscent of shows like The Twilight Zone, Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Crypt, and Goosebumps, and the writings of H.P. Lovecraft, Edgar Allan Poe, Brian Keene, R.L. Stine, and Stephen King. A mixed bag of the strange and the macabre. I do hope that you enjoy my tales, and thank you for taking the time to read them. Okay, see? There you go. So it's kind of like stories. You remember Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, like when we were growing up, and Tales for the Midnight Hour, and I don't know, there was like a bunch of those, like just little short stories and stuff that, you know, we had as kids, like campfire stories that were like kind of spooky, kind of strange, and sometimes a little scary. That's how this is, you know. And like the Tales from the Crypt comic books, love them, got every one of them. So that's where I draw my inspiration. And R.L. Stine, my biggest, man, I got every one of his books, pretty much. I mean, every single Fear Street book, yep. 90%, like every Goosebumps book, from the original till now, with the exception of like the most one, you know, the spin-offs. I got some of those, but I got all the Goosebumps, like regulars, because I love them. They're kind of like, you know, yeah, they're for kids, but they're clean, you know. It's like, I like Stephen King and I like Brian Keene and, you know, like adult horror, but sometimes you sit down and you read a book that's like 1,000 pages, and it's like, you're like, it just kind of gets old. So I like the shorter books that are quick and to the point, like the old school Edgar Allan Poe and H.P. Lovecraft, and that's why I stick with short stories for the most parts, because my attention span as I get older and my eyesight is not that great. So I like to sit down, and most of these stories you can read like in 5 minutes. There's a couple of novellas in here, like short novels that were like gonna be a novel, and then I just said nah, just it ended up being like 20-50 pages. So and I went back and I edited everything. There's no cussing, no sex of any kind. So that's why I say, if you like Goosebumps and Fear Street, your children can read this for the most part. I mean, there's some thematic stuff in here, kind of like it talks about like pentagrams and a little bit of the occult and kind of stuff. So it's kind of, just, but it's not like satanic or anything, I mean, it's just, there's themes in here because that's what it's about, spooky stuff and strange and sometimes scary. And oh yeah, I was going to show you the table of contents. But anyway, we'll get to that. Here you go. Table of contents tells you all about the stories and that they're in here and the pages. And if you get the Kindle edition, you'll notice, there's two different versions of the book. They're the same, but the Kindle, the pages, for whatever reason, I had to renumber them because Kindle's kind of, I don't know, it lays out different. So the table of contents and the page numbers are different than the Kindle version because caught that when we were going to print, and it was like, okay. So, but nice little table of contents, and there's 6 brand new stories for 2025. It's like My Friend is Missing, Happy the Clown, The Darkness Called to Me, Don't Open the Box, This Story Wrote Itself, and The Cabin. Okay, those are 6 brand new stories, and they start at page 185. So they're really good. I wrote them all in 2025. The old stories, they started in, I think, 1994, and it'll have the year that it was written beside it, like And Death Too Began to Die was brought to life in 2012. So I put in parentheses underneath the title, or beside, the title, the year that the story originated. So most of it didn't change, other than like if it had like some kind of sexual anything in it or cussing. I just took that out, modified it. And some of the stories, like, I don't know, to make them more modern, I had to make a few little changes and adjustments. But most of the original stories are still original, yet they got a little change. So even if you're like, oh, I have the old copies of that from before, no, you don't. It's all different. Like, I mean, there were mistakes in there that got corrected and fixed, and it's awesome. Like, I mean, I read this whole thing like, I don't know, at least 20 times, because I'm like, look for mistakes, gotta fix them. So I wanted it to be perfect this time, because it's the last time I'm putting this version of the book out. Like, that's it. Woo! We're done with Tales to Chill Your Blood, Volume 1. Yeah, that's right. I'm already working on Volume 2. It would be called More Tales to Chill Your Blood. All brand new stories, and it's coming out in October of 2026. I've got 4 written stories so far, so it's going good. And this one came out in August. I think it was like August 12th, 18th, somewhere in there. So yeah, brand new book. Well, brand new book. And then we got one coming in 2026 on probably around Halloween, because I'm going to start trying to do that. It's like every year around Halloween, I'll put out a book, like spooky stories. So as soon as that book's done, I'll start working on ones for the next one. And the good news about More Tales to Chill Your Blood that's coming next Halloween is gonna, like, every story has an alternate ending. So it'll have the story, and then right up under the end, it'll skip like a couple lines, and then it'll say the name of the story, alternate ending. And it's like, it'll just pick up right near where the story was about to end, and then it just, it goes from there where it changes. So it's like, it's awesome. there were like so many different directions I could have went with some of the stories that I'm writing now, and I've got like blueprints of them, and those 4 so far were just like wild. And the directions I was gonna go, I was like, so I kind of like, well, let's just do it. We'll do an alternate ending. So I have the real ending, and then underneath it is the alternate ending. And I'm like, that'll be something we might try for this whole book. Like, so yeah, it'll be a whole new book. Already got the cover art. Has a guy looking in the mirror and Death's looking back at him, and there's a black cat sitting on the sink staring at him. It's awesome. It'll be the same like this. The title and name will be on the side, because artwork, awesome, beautiful, like it speaks for itself. Oh, that looks interesting, let me check it out. So it's great. And thanks for reading it. Please check it out, tell all your friends about it. Halloween's coming. Woo, you can buy this and have a spooky reading at your Halloween parties. And that's bedclothes, not the Grim Reaper. He's a character in one of the stories, one of my favorites. So yeah, I think that was everything for this one, but you can get it on Amazon.com. It's $12. The ebook's $2.99. Or if you live in the Gaffney area, you can get it from me for $10. If you already have a copy, you can get a hold of me. I will sign it for you. And yeah, if you want me to mail you one, it's $10 plus, I guess, like if you live in the United States, I think it's like $5 for shipping. So we say $15 shipped. And yay, in the US only. Don't mess with the overseas stuff. I don't know how to do all that, and it gets complicated, so I don't want to be mean. But if you live out of the state, still love you, and it's best just to get it from Amazon. And like, you can just send me a self-addressed stamped envelope, and I'll like sign something, and you can stick it in there or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out. I don't know. But anyway, thanks, and we'll talk about the other book and stuff in the next video. Have a great day. Tales to chill your blood. Boogie, boogie, boogie.